Welcome to Gary's Graveyard Gramblings and a special Christmas edition from the south side of the church. So, I'm going to sit down and, hello, I'm on Margaret's bench today. I haven't been on Margaret's bench for a long time, but I deserve a little bit of a sit down because it is Christmas Day. Or Yuletide, as I prefer to call it, having slightly pagan tendencies as I do, prefer Yuletide. Funny word, Yuletide, doesn't it? Sounds a bit like an Indonesian washing powder. Yuletide. So, but that's what it is. 25th of December, 2024. And I thought I'd better blow the cobwebs away because we've opened all our presents, all our Yuletide presents this morning. Oh, the presents that we had. I had a soap. And so I thought I'll go for a walk, blow the cobwebs away. And I thought, I know, I'll nip into the church sharpish in between services because I have to be a bit careful here with the god shop behind me. That's why I'm whispering, you see. So I should probably have to subtitle this because it's, for the hard of hearing. Because I can't be my usual self and burst forth. Now you'll have noticed when I came in here that the weather is pretty grey. That's something that this country manages to excel in, actually. 50 shades of grey. Yes, it sounds a little bit like a sort of a weather forecast for the depressed. And that's what it is here today, 50 days. Of course, I blame Brexit, as I do for most things. But anyway, neither here nor there. I hope you're having a wonderful time. We started our day in Peasmoldia Towers by, in the traditional way, we woke up and let the cat out because he was clawing the carpet to the spare room at the back to a shred. Very traditional Christmas activity for the cat. And then we turned on the television and watched an On the Buses film. And I always think that On the Buses shows the very best side of what it is to be British, and a very Christmassy theme with Nymphy Nora hanging her knickers out on a line to attract the randy conductor, Jack. And so we enjoyed that very Christmassy activity on the buses, first thing. Then I thought, I'll do a Christmas breakfast of traditional scrambled egg on toast. Very traditional. Some foreign watchers of this might not know what scrambled eggs are, and if you'd seen what I cooked, you'd be none the wiser. But we had that. That was lovely. Nice start to the day. Did our calls with Australia and the folks in Australia. We then did the calls to Ireland for the wife's folks. And then I started making this video when I got here. This is take 2, because I had 2 calls interrupt me. So I had to start all over again. So what am I going to ramble on about today? Well, as it's Christmas, so, sorry, I beg your pardon, Yuletide, and because it's 50 Shades of Grey, then I thought perhaps we should do another ghost story, because that is traditional at this time of year. Now, I've already told the strange tale of Uncle Jim in the Halloween special that we did earlier on. I'm not sure, because I've lost my thread, as I so frequently do on these things. I'm not sure if I've told the story of the Barbican incident yet. I'm probably going to avoid that because I think I have told that one. So instead, I'm going to tell you a very short story to get your mystic juices flowing. You know what I'm talking about, because I don't. This is a little true story, another true story from the Gary James Ghostly Happenings logbook. And this story, I have to go to the first place that I ever moved to when I escaped Royal Tunbridge Wells as a mere slip of a lad in the mid-1970s, and I moved to a flat share in a house in North London in a place called Barnet. And this house was a semi-detached Victorian villa, and it was owned by a rather... I don't want to be unkind, because he was fine. He was a nice enough guy. A little on the strange side, man who worked for the council, I believe, and he rented out his spare rooms to obviously cover his costs. I had one room, and the room next to me was taken by a young Scottish lad called David, whom I was very fond of. He was a lovely, lovely guy, and we were both new to London, and it was all a big experience moving to the capital. And so we shared these rooms for about 6 months. It was a 6-month contract, nothing too much. This was 1977, the Christmas, I think, just before Christmas, 1976, through to about June, July of 1977. Might even have gone on a wee bit longer than that. How do I know this? Well, because it was the Queen's Silver Jubilee year. And I remember the celebrations going on at the house in the street with a street party. Now, none of that, of course, is very ghostly. Incidentally, don't you miss the old Queen? I do. And, I'll come back to her in a minute. Let's finish the ghost story first. So, David and I were... now, the man that owned the house worked, I think, for social services or something. And he used to go off for days on end at a time. We were never too sure where he was going. But he always told us to lock the house up, make sure that... Well, as you would do, because it was his house. Make sure when you're in of an evening, lock the house up, which we did. And we hadn't been there that long before he had gone away and told us to lock the house up, which we did. David turned in, I turned in at the end of the evening, and we shut our doors and went to bed. Shortly afterwards, I can't speak for David, but I was awoken by a very strange noise on the stairs. And it sounded like someone was rolling marbles around on a tin tray. It was very loud and very odd. I'd not heard anything like it before. And it was getting closer and closer and closer to the door of my bedroom. And David's bedroom was next to mine. His door was shut. I was terrified. Had no idea. There was no one else in the house. It was just me and David. That much I am absolutely certain about. Nobody had crept in. The landlord hadn't come back. He was away. This noise continued for a while. And I genuinely didn't know what to do. And you know when people tell you a ghost story and you think, well, if you hear footsteps, if you hear something, why don't you just go out there and confront it straight away? And I think the reason that we didn't is because we had the crap scared out of us. Anyway, the noise stopped as abruptly as it had started. The following morning, because I was too scared, I remember diving under the duvet and for dear life quivering like a wreck and staying there. The following morning, we came out, did our ablutions in the bathroom, and I thought, I'm going to have to say something. I said, David, did you hear that noise outside last night? And David, who was from Glenrothes in Scotland, I'm not even going to attempt the accent, my darlings, said to me, please tell me it was you. And I said, David, it wasn't. It wasn't me. I was going to say the same thing to you. Please tell me it was you. We both paled visibly, and bless him, it wasn't him. We'd both heard it, and neither of us are any the wiser as to what this noise was. And thankfully, it never happened again. It was a one-off. Now, I don't know if this is a ghost story or not, but it was bloody weird. So that's as deep as I'm likely to go. Of course, in later years, worse things happened to me, as you well know, for those of you that have read my book. Now, this afternoon. Now, I'm going to have to get back in a minute because we are having a traditional Christmas dinner of steak, chips and peas, which we're having today. That's lovely, and we're looking forward to that. Now, we're not going to be watching The King at 3 o'clock. I'm sorry. If I'm going to take family advice on relationships and peace, the last person I'm going to take it from is the likes of him. Now, when we had the old Queen in, hello, and what do you do? As what she said to me when I met her, because I did meet her. And, yeah, I kind of forgave her, because I kind of felt a bit sorry for her. You know, I don't particularly like the royals, just between you and me. But I'm not going to take any advice on anything from the likes of King Brian and Queen Camelia. No. So I shall be giving that one a miss, and we're probably going to watch a Christmassy film, something like Ghostbusters, you know, or funnily enough. And I watched Venom last night, another traditional Christmas film with the very Christmassy Tom Hardy. And I am available, incidentally, Tom, to act as a sidekick in one of your future movies, if you so desire. On that cheery note, I'm going to leave you from Margaret's Bench, and the next video that I'll make of these will probably be a New Year one. Do you think? I think so. Meantime, love and peace to you all, and salute.